Hey y'all, how is everybody? Let's see what your next 2 weeks are going to look like. Any guidance that you guys need from your spiritual team, any heads up situation. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cleanse the space with some dragon's blood and get started. For those of you that are going to click on the timestamps, this will be the time to click on your timestamps. And for those of you watching the live stream, let's flow. All right. So let's see what is going on here for what's coming in next. What is coming in next? Your next 2 weeks from whenever you're watching this, not from when recorded. This is a timeless reading. All of my readings are timeless. All right. So whenever you click on, even if you click on at a later date, again, you may have some messages here, okay? Let's see what's going on for you guys. With the shuffle. All right, five messages. What is it? What do they need to know? Oshun came out. Five. All right, something about this week. This week is significant. We have the B rune, all right? Orkana, birth, earth mother, birth energy, okay? So that being said, I will say that something is being created in the next 2 weeks. Something is showing its head, right? So we think of the symbology of birth, right? We have labor pains, correct? Then we have well, actually, let's do the rundown. We have the breaking of the water, labor pains, and the arrival of something new. Okay, so this can be literal, or this can be symbology of something that is happening in the upcoming next 2 weeks for you guys. All right, depending on your particular situation, you will put it where it fits best. Okay, that being said, birth is significant. All right, this week, make sure that you are keeping up with your protection rituals and practices, whether they be lighting candles, whether they be doing your prayers, whether that be spiritual water, spiritual baths, talismans, things of that nature, okay? Whatever it may be for you, spiritual regalia. This week, you want to make sure that you have protection from any malicious intention from other people. And that can be through thoughts, actions, or plotting. Okay. I do see that this week you will have some sort of protection from spells that were casted against you. That means that um, in the past, from whenever you're watching this, right, in the recent past, someone could have tried to either send you negative energy, negative intentions, or could have dived into what is called black arts, which is the manipulation of your free will. Okay. That being said, you are protected this week, but make sure that you keep up with your spiritual protection practices. Okay. Ask for signs and things of that nature from your spiritual team, so that way you can get more personal messages. If you guys would like a reading from me, you guys can go to spiritualsboutique.com to get an individual one-on-one session. Okay. Communicate with your spirit squad. Your spiritual team is trying to communicate with you. Some of you guys, Oshun is trying to communicate with you, especially if Oshun is in your spiritual quartz. I do see that. What you're not seeing in the next 2 weeks is that you have to ask the Most High, God, Source, and your ancestors if there is anything in your heart space that is not supposed to be there, meaning any negative emotions, any resentments, any pent up, anxiety, any suffering, any trauma, any triggers that is in your heart, any hate, to leave it as an offering to them. Take this from you, me, God. Take this from me, source. Take this from me, ancestors, because I do not want this to consume me moving forward. As you do this in the form of a prayer or in the form of reaching out to the Most High, to Source, to your ancestors, you will be addressing the situation. All right. So basically, they will take the situation out of your hands. Taking the situation out of your hands means that they're going to deal with it. Okay. This doesn't mean that you micromanage them on how they deal with it. That means that they will deal with it, whether you like the way they deal with it or not. Okay. Sometimes when we are wrong, sometimes when we cry, think about how your parents react when when you get bullied at school, or when someone tries to disrespect you, or someone tries to harm you, right? A parent is going to be very protective in the way that they react. Not every parent acts the same, and not every parent reacts the same, correct? So if you're talking to your ancestors and you say, hey, I'm going through the situation, or you're talking to your spiritual team and say, hey, I need this to be resolved, right? Maybe the way you think on how to resolve it is not the way they're going to think how to resolve it, but they will resolve it. So when you give whatever is going on in your heart space to the Most High, to your ancestors, to your spiritual team, just know that it is completely out of your hands after you do that. Now, the pain, the suffering, the triggers and stuff like that, that's going to end up shifting. You might experience some sort of healing in like energetic transaction. So basically, I give you this and then you give me something else. So they're going to give you healing energy, but they're going to take that pain and suffering away. That also may mean taking particular people away, banishing certain situations from you. Things might not fall through from you. Things may look like it's not going in your favor, but in reality, it's being redirected and shifting, so that way it will benefit you. Okay. So pay attention to that in the next 2 weeks. That feels like more like labor pains, right? Feeling uncomfortable labor pains on, okay, here, take this from me. I don't want to feel this pain anymore. Usually going back to that analogy of birth, right? When you're experiencing pain, when you're about to deliver a baby, all women say, I just want to get it over with, please. I just want my baby in my hands, right? So that being said, whatever this is for you guys in the upcoming next 2 weeks, it looks like you will be praying about it. It looks like you will be addressing it with your spiritual team, your spiritual court, and they will address it for you, whatever this is. Okay. We have you have the power over your mind, not outside events. They want you to know that. So if anything is happening right now, leading up to the next upcoming 2 weeks, that just makes you feel powerless, makes you feel intimidated, or gives you anxiety or anything like that, the serenity prayer would be the best bet for you, as well as some protection prayers for those prayer warriors that are out there. From what I'm seeing here, let's see if they want me to pull out any additional messages in combination with this. All right, we have four additional ones. So we're going to split this in half. All right, we have Chen, Thunder. All right, some of you guys may be connected to nature spirits. Okay. And then we're going to grab 3 more from here. Another rune came out. Some of you guys could be working with runes. Okay. That's another thing that came out. So we have the letter B, we have the letter J, the letter L. Okay, that could be significant. So for the J rune, Jera, Earth, cycles, right action. Okay. So things are happening on repeat. Due to action that needs to be corrected. Okay, so the next upcoming 2 weeks, if you feel like something, like you already dealt with something, you already experienced something, you already did something, and it feels like you're doing it again, or you feel like you're going through something again, most likely it's to correct a particular decision. Okay. We have the rune for the letter L, Laguz, water, fertility, lunar, renewal. Okay, with birth and renewal, this gives that energy of like, okay, so make sure that whatever you are starting new, starting fresh, is actually going to be beneficial. It's not like a repeat cycle that you don't want to be doing again, right? With fertility, it gives you this energy of things will multiply. Okay. So make sure in the next upcoming 2 weeks, whatever patterns you're seeing, they're good patterns and good habits versus negative ones. Okay. With thunder over thunder, your money message is if your business is facing any type of alarming setbacks or your finances is facing some sort of setbacks, you will need to strengthen your resolve to prevail, meaning strengthen your strategy. Okay. If you're seeing a repeat cycle that is not working in your favor financially, then correct that. Okay. That could be placing a budget, placing a minimum of what money goes out versus what's coming in, um, making sure that, let's say, you pay bills ahead of time, or making sure that you budget said bills or expenses so that way you won't keep repeating the same mistake. Whatever this is, make sure that you set it in stone in the next upcoming 2 weeks. We are in the waning moon phase, which means this is the best time for you to practice, banishing a debt, correcting, like organizing the house, clearing up space, donating what you need to donate. Breaking habits is the best time right now for the waning moon. Okay. Anything about shrinking or pushing away or clearing out. So, like cleansing, banishing, making sure that you are removing energies that are not yours from your household or for your own energy spiritually, um, fixing and addressing like bad habits, bad thought forms, negative self-talk. This is the best time for you to do it in the next 2 weeks in the transition phase from the waning moon to the new moon, right? So in the next 2 weeks, because they talked about birth, they talked about fertility, talked about something living, like a living renewal. Okay, so this is not a spiritual renewal. This is like a real life, like versus metaphysical. It is physical. A physical living renewal is about to take place in the next 2 weeks. Okay, your money message is basically letting you know that you have to be strong. You have to set reinforcements in order for you to succeed at this time in the next 2 weeks. Okay, your love message here is saying that you need to examine your behavior in the next 2 weeks. All right. For any type of destructive habits. So this is bad habits. This is self-sabotaging, um, negative self-taught. This is like the energy of like you dabbling more into your shadow attributes than your higher self. Okay, this could be acting out of a triggered state. This could be being traumatized and acting out, or this is like letting the devil like feed into whatever your goals are, right, and leading you astray. Okay, so examine those behaviors, especially if they're destructive habits, and rise to the challenge of eradicating them. Again, going based off of the next 2 weeks. That means that you're pushing this out. You want to minimize these type of mistakes or bad habits or whatever patterns, okay, that you can be falling susceptible to. All right. What you don't see here is that this journey is not just about finding yourself, my love, but creating yourself. You're building yourself. So going back to the challenge here is eradicating your ego. You are going through an ego death. The ego is the triggered state of you. The ego is the traumatized version of you. The ego is going to taunt you into fucking things up. Okay. That being said, strengthening your, basically your weak spots, okay, your soft spots, your bruises, the ouches, right? And making sure that you are protecting yourself in that form. So the protection is not just spiritual, it is energetic and emotional for the next 2 weeks, okay? Because that will play out on how you react. And reacting, you want to make sure you're not reacting through your shadow, but you're reacting through your higher self, your higher Zen state, okay? Um, it looks like someone's not telling you about some form of lie, some form of gossip or rumor, okay, that they may have spread about you. Again, making sure that you are protecting yourself energetically in the next 2 weeks so that doesn't affect you. Going back to, is there any hate in your heart? Is there any resentment in your heart? Is there any hard feelings in your heart space in the next upcoming 2 weeks? Make sure that you're not reacting, right? Reacting when you're upset or you're pissed or you're sad or you're depressed can lead to further issues and complications, okay, to this new birth that is about to take place for you. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and shift gears into your healing messages. Okay. So for your healing messages, let's see what comes out. Just want to give a good pre-shuffle before we get started. All right, we're going to go with eight messages. 8 messages. What are the 8 messages? Thank you. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So bottom of the deck, we have a karmic woman. All right. Make sure that you are being vigilant with the energies that are around you. Okay. You could have a karmic woman in your energy, affecting your energy, or you can be engaging with this karmic woman in the next 2 weeks. Okay. That being said, this person is trying to teach you some sort of karma. Okay. So that being said, let's see what else comes out here for you guys. So we have working on healthy steps to heal your relationship from codependency. Okay. So some of you guys, and when we talk about codependency can come in the form of financial codependency, emotional codependency, intimate codependency, codependency in regards to like asking for help, always needing help, okay, like that crutch, okay. So it just depends on your particular circumstance because that's coming up. We have the glib monster, okay, so this is the shadow attribute that you guys are dealing with in the next 2 weeks. So the glib monster, this could be your shadow attribute that you're facing, or this could be, again, like the karmic woman, that could be that person's shadow attributes, and it could be triggering you in a certain type of way, therefore leading you to react in another, right? So the glib monster has a distrust of life, has a distrust of others, have a distrust of self, okay? This person has trust issues. Their characteristics could be sly, could be crafty, inconsistent, superficial, or cunning. Okay, so if this is you that you're going through this, your triggers of codependency, right? On top of the triggers of not being able to trust yourself or trust people. When I say not trust yourself, maybe not trust your intuition, right? Not trust your own gifts, not trust when you know something and then it turns out to be the same thing that you thought it was, but you didn't trust yourself, so you got yourself into another situation, right? If this is not you and this is someone that you're dealing with, their mistrust of life, their mistrust of other people, their mistrust of not even trusting themselves can be the reason why they're projecting a certain type of energy that you have to protect yourself from, okay? We have the faithful woman. This could be you or whoever you're dealing with, all right? Or the person that you're trying to create yourself to be. All right, we have a karmic cycle of 6 months, 6 to 9 months, or a season that you could have been engaging in or experiencing. Okay, so in the next 2 weeks, this is the continuation of that particular karmic cycle that you could probably have been experiencing for a season or you were supposed to only experience it, again with the cycles energy, you were supposed to only experience it for a season. So a season is about 3 to 4 months, and it stretched out to 6 to 9 months because of a repeat, a repeat destructive habit, or a repeat trigger, or a repeat bad decision. Okay, karmic cycle is here. You're supposed to meet that with love, with that rose quartz. So I'm seeing that there. We have a karmic relationship that can bring out the worst version of you. This can also enable toxic behaviors, bad habits, and restrict success or blessings. Okay, so going back to what you have been experiencing for however long. You guys comment down below. Has it been a karmic cycle of a season, or has it felt like almost half a year, close to 9 months for your karmic cycle that you've been healing? Okay, comment down below. What type of karmic relationship was it for you? All right. With that karmic woman, that could be a friend, that could be a coworker, or that could be a third party female entanglement situation there. All right. You could have been the third party female entanglement situation, or you could have dealt with that said third party situation. Okay. We have the law of Dharma. Seek your highest self. Okay. Discover your unique talents. Use this to serve humanity. So as you are getting more connected with your higher self, right, you're pushing away, clearing away whatever that shadow attribute is in the next 2 weeks, shifting back into alignment into the Dharma energy versus karma energy. You're going to see big shifts and changes there. Okay. And that's with clearing, again, healthy steps to healing relationships, making sure that you have healthy relationships. Okay. We have a full zodiac sign reveal. We have a dead end, no progress here situation. So you've been going in circles. Instead of just getting out of the situation, you keep going in circles. Okay. And then we have you shifted or are about to shift. And the symptoms is feeling like you're floating, weightlessness in your limbs. So you kind of feel like you're gliding in the earth. You don't really feel like you're present in your body, like out of body experiences in the next 2 weeks. That's what that's about. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull a zodiac sign for what you're healing from. Maybe you're healing from a particular zodiac sign, or you could be healing a particular zodiac sign placement in your birth chart. Okay. So let's see. Clarify the full zodiac sign for reveal. Zodiac sign for reveal. Okay. And air sign came out, and intuition. Let me go ahead and grab that really quickly because it did fall. As a matter of fact, what fell out was air sign and dead end, no progress is what came out here together. So that's exactly what I'm going to put so you can see it in your face. That air sign energy, dead end, no progress situation there. That's not going where you need it to go. Okay. So use your intuition in regards to that. All right. If you guys are not dealing with said air sign, they said 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have liar. Okay, so that air sign quality could be communication. Maybe you're dealing with someone that when they're communicating with you, they're distant with you, they're lying, they're withholding information. They're not telling you everything. They're being sneaky. These are things that you're healing from. Remember, the main message here is what you're healing from. So you're healing from the impatience. Some of you are healing from a particular pregnancy wound. All right, so this could be not being able to be pregnant, or ever since your last pregnancy, you've been healing this particular situation. Does that make sense? Okay. So for some of you, it's going to be since your last pregnancy, you've been healing from this particular relationship, this particular karmic cycle. Okay. For those of you that it was that particular person from your last pregnancy, okay, that you were dealing with. like the in between from that last pregnancy and that person is who you're healing from. Okay, it's giving air sign energy. Again, I'm reading for a lot of you, so that doesn't mean that it is exactly that air sign. For some of you, it's going to be your confirmation. For others of you, the confirmation is the description of the person that I just gave to you. Okay, the description of the situation. You only have a few more months to go to heal this. Okay, but in order for you to heal this means that you have to keep your distance from this person. This means that you cannot communicate with this person. Okay, so that way you will not get triggered. You don't go back to these bad habits, toxic behaviors, all right, that are restricting your success or your blessings to come to you. You were supposed to already be living some sort of new lifestyle, a new chapter. Okay, you are already shifting. You have shifted. All right, your spiritual team is saying like, okay, you're healing. You shifted your energy. You're about to feel these confirmation symptoms, okay, of feeling light, of feeling like you're floating. Some of you guys are going to feel like, for those of you that are earth angels, you're going to feel like your wings are coming in. You're going to feel like, the back of your shoulder blades are like flapping. You're going to feel like that eerie energy, okay? You're going to feel it, okay? So that being said, each and every one of you are going to go through your own experiences individually. But generally, with your healing messages, this lets you know what you're healing from, who you're healing from, and how long you've been healing it. They're saying in the next 2 weeks, you're feeling these symptoms. You need to do these particular things to continue to heal, because it's going to take about, a couple more months. They said a few more months, so let's give it 3 months in your healing journey to completely heal from the situation. They are telling you, again, confirmation with the first message on what's coming in next in the next 2 weeks. Someone is not telling you about something. They could have lied to you. They could have withheld information. They could have been trying to be sneaky, all right, or careful about what they tell you for a particular reason. This could have been anywhere from starting rumors, gossiping, or just withholding information from you that they could be either spreading about you, or that they could be, talking about you to other people. Okay, but that's what I'm seeing here. Now we're going to go ahead and shift into specifically, how are you developing? All right, actually, you know what? We're going to go with the spiritual assistance. What spiritual assistance is coming in? Yeah. Let's go with what spiritual assistance is coming in for you guys. What you need to, what you see, what you need to know, like confirmations and stuff like that, like omens and signs, okay? That's what we're clarifying right now. Omens and signs that you will be seeing in the next 2 weeks from the spiritual assistance that you will have, okay? This includes the guides, your allies, energies that are basically supporting you in your next step in the following next 2 weeks. All right, we have food. That's funny because I think this came up last time, something in regards to food or fruit or something like that, or herbs. So the energy of plants, plant medicine, could be assisting you in your healing journey. All right. So food, meditation, the chant, I can, I will. Okay, those types of affirmations. I will do this. I can do this, instead of I am, right? Let's shift that in the next 2 weeks into action. Let's see what else. All right, we're going 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. All right, bottom of the deck, we have compassion. Be compassionate with yourself. All right. Your spiritual team wants you to know that, yeah, there's spiritual energies that are assisting you. The Most High can assist you. The angels can assist you. Your ancestors can assist you. Your spiritual team can assist you. but you also got to assist yourself too. All right. You got to do this yourself too. You have to show up for yourself. All right. Because if you don't show up for yourself, how are they supposed to continue the progress for you? Right. So we have karma, and the karma was in the reverse. So if you thought you're like, oh man, I'm facing negative karma or something like that, or this is my karma, I did something wrong. No, this karma is not your own. This is like, so the karmic woman that you're dealing with, you don't have any type of karma between the both of you, but this person is affecting you. Does that make sense? And so how they affect you, how they're impacting you in the next 2 weeks is testing you to see if you're going to add more karma, if you're going to add more repercussions to the mix in the karmic cycle that you're already about to close. Okay. So it's a test. We have truth and aura. Some of you guys are going to start seeing auras, okay? Some of you are going to have a shift in your auric color, your auric field, all right? I do feel like what's helping you right now is any type of aura protection, aura shield, like shielding your energy, working with your aura, working with Reiki, manipulating energy so that way your auric field can stay protected, stay cleansed, clearing your energy, things like that, okay? We have seduction here. I did say, I think in the last reading or the reading before last, I'm not sure if it was the money messages reading or if it was the October reading, okay? But I did mention about being careful about how somebody presents something to you. I said something in regards to someone making something look better or worse than what it actually is. Okay. So illusions or misperception right now, especially with the liar and the heads up of like someone withholding something or someone's trying to be sneaky or something like that. Do not be misguided in the next upcoming 2 weeks. Ask for receipts, ask for facts, ask for some sort of documentation. Make sure that you have some sort of proof that something is or is not what it is. You understand? Okay. So you need something to like follow up there. I'm not sure exactly what that is. They kept it kind of general, so I'm going to keep it there. It's going to make sense for those of you that it needs to make sense to. Okay. We have sing, and that's in the reverse. Some of you guys in the next upcoming 2 weeks, you might not feel like singing. You might not feel like listening to music. You may be a little shy in talking to people. You may be a little shy in sharing your talents and your gifts. Some of you guys could be having issues with your throat chakra in the next upcoming 2 weeks. Please work on that. Ground your energy. Figure out if it's like again with the bad habits, right? Toxic patterns. Does this mean that you are kind of closing your own throat chakra on purpose and you're not speaking your truth, or you're not setting your boundaries, or you're not communicating clearly? And you need to do this in order to continue to heal, and you need to do this in order to pass the test, okay? Sing, all right? Sing your song. It is your song. Talk about your feelings. They're your feelings. They're valid. Whatever you're experiencing is valid. Don't shut down in the next 2 weeks, okay? Now, always do this in regards to making sure that you're reacting in a higher vibrational form, okay? Because we did have a lot of energies of karma here, so make sure that you're not making things worse, okay? We have act and we have spirit, okay? So in the next upcoming 2 weeks, that means that you will start seeing the actions of your spiritual team, okay? You will say one thing, you'll say a prayer, you'll light a candle, you'll do a mantra, or you'll do a meditation where you connect with your spiritual team or your ancestors. And then after that, you will see pure actions. Okay. Some of you guys need to continue to leave the tobacco offerings. Some of you guys need to continue to put the incense offerings, okay, for the next upcoming 2 weeks for these actions to stay fluid. Okay. Excuse me. We have equalizer and highest self. All right. I do feel like there is going to be some sort of release. All right. So we talked about clearing out the energy, banishing what needs to be banished, organizing what needs to be organizing, clearing way of bad habits, so not repeating, mistakes and things of that nature. So that means addressing them. Equalizer gives the energy of like when there's a pH balance that is regulated again, right? So those of you that have been experiencing like STIs or issues in your yoni section and area, or issues with, for my masculines, with sexual pleasure, arousal, or release, that is going to get regulated again. So if there is like a sexual blockage, a sacral blockage, a root chakra blockage, that is flowing again and going. And so that, for some reason, they're saying that that is actually going to help you. And that makes sense because you're going to feel more anchored. But with the expression here, there's going to be some sort of release that takes place. And this could be from a sexual context, or this can be, like I said, some sort of release that needs to take place in your energy, so that way you can continue to move on. Whether that be, healing from that past situation that I talked about with the air sign, or that particular person that I described, or that may have something to do with, maybe your spiritual team is saying like, hey, you've been pent up for too long and you just need this, so that way you can, get back to who you usually are. There's something about your highest self finally owning up to something that, let's say, your shadow self taunts you or shames you about, right? And so your higher self then basically transmutes it into something good. So if you guys have had issues with your beauty, or you've had issues with body positivity, maybe there's a shift there. So whatever you felt, not fully beautiful, or not fully accepted, or ridiculed, or shamed, or judged for something, now that's shifting into something higher vibrational, and that's because your spiritual team is helping you with that. Okay, we have change, and this is in the reverse. Okay, that means that there is no change. Okay, don't freak out when I say that, but in the next upcoming 2 weeks, don't feel like there's going to be a lot of changes, because they're not. All right, there's going to be a lot of omens, kind of like a lot of heads up, like this is going to happen, that's going to happen, like basically announcements, like energetic announcements basically. But there's not going to be any physical shift or change that's going to take place. Going back to that the description of birth, right? First, you will feel the pains. You will feel the pains. You'll experience the water breaking, right? But will you see the baby yet? No, right? And the baby is actually again, it is an example, right? I kind of draw you guys a picture of what you could be experiencing, and I parallel it to something else, so that way you can keep the story going, okay? For very, very few of you, it's going to be an actual baby. But like I said, very, very few, like less than 10%, okay? That being said, you can get an omen in regards to baby things through you scrolling. You could be watching a movie and they say something about a baby coming, or you can see a post on social media and it says something about pregnancy, or it says something about a arrival of a baby, or a gender reveal, or a baby coming home. Whatever that is, that's just basically your spiritual team showing you the little omens here and there, so you'd be like, okay, now I'm at this particular phase of this quote unquote birth. Okay. That being said, there's not going to be many changes, but there will be signs. Kind of like there's the sign of the labor pains, which is the Briggs hack. Hold on, let me say it right. Hold on. Braxton Hicks. There we go. The Braxton Hicks. Oh, I'm about to go into labor, but you're not really going to labor. You're just practicing going into labor, but it's still freaking uncomfortable, right? For my mommies out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially for my spiritual mommies, that you have a spiritual baby that's not physically here, but you still a spiritual mommy, boo. I acknowledge you, okay? You're still a spiritual mommy. For those that are spiritual mommies, drop out your little baby angels on the comments, okay? Because we validate them here. All right. I have two spiritual babies. I am a spiritual mommy too. And I am a physical mommy. All right. That being said, spiritual mommies, I acknowledge you. So for those of you that experienced the Braxton Hicks, right, there's gonna be like that pump fake, like, oh shit, something's happening, right? That's these next 2 weeks. Something's happening, right? Braxton Hicks. Then after these next 2 weeks is gonna shift into the water breaking. Then it's gonna shift into the heads coming, right? Because the baby's about to pop out. So I'm just kind of giving you the rundown of how it's going to kind of feel in the next upcoming 2 weeks for you guys. Don't feel like everything is changing all at once and you start to panic and freak out and you have to do so many things, right? And it's such a short amount of time. No, right? But that's kind of how it feels like when you're preparing for a baby, especially when you've been preparing for so long. So that being said, putting this into perspective, your spiritual team is trying to help you birth something that you've been trying to create for the past 9 months, going back into all your journals, into all your candles and rituals that you've been lighting, into all the affirmation boards and manifestation boards and all the intentions and the bay leaves and all the petitions and whatever the heck you guys have been doing, okay? Because I'm just listing a whole bunch of different things, okay? Whatever you've been working on, whatever you've been praying on for the last 9 months, go reflect back on that. That is what I'm talking about right here. That is what is being uncomfortable in the energy right now. Your spiritual team is shifting and moving things, not physically, but energetically, to prepare you for that physical birth, that physical change that is going to happen in your life. Okay, we're good. We're going to keep moving on to loyalty. All right, sunflower energy. I talked about Oshun, so we're going to give this Oshun, give this the card of Oshun energy. Okay, we have the dog here, so there's something shifting in regards to your friendships. So who could be assisting you right now? There could be a friend. There could be a doggy pet. Okay, that is helping you in the next upcoming 2 weeks. Oshun could be helping you in the next upcoming 2 weeks with whatever this is. We have unconditional and blueprint. Okay, there's something here that your spiritual team, again, look, all the scrolls, all the petitions. You see that? You can't miss it. All the petitions and all the scrolls and your heart in the middle of it. Like, come on. Like, whatever you wrote out, whatever you prayed about, whatever this is, you've set out a blueprint. I want it to happen this way. I want it to be this person. I want it to be in this location. I want it to be this much. I want it, whatever this is, right? Whatever you were detailed about, very specific, and wrote it all out. That's what we're talking about here. We have sorcery and revolution. Sorcery confirms, for those of you that you were doing this through magic or manifestation, that this is what we're talking about, confirmed. For those of you with the revolution energy, this is like you're going to feel like you barely have the energy, you barely have the time, you're running very low, and then you just get this adrenaline out of nowhere in this next upcoming 2 weeks that's going to pull you through. All right, we have crystal technology in the reverse. Some of you guys in the next 2 weeks, you may want to kind of work on your crystals, work with your crystals, especially the crystals that you haven't been working on for a while. Make sure that you refresh your crystals, clear out any energy from your previous crystals, recharge them, okay? And then we have the witch doctor with wisdom. Some of you guys, you have someone, a coach, an advisor, a mentor. You guys could be an apprentice to someone. Someone could be your spiritual teacher, your spiritual guru. You may need to go to them in the next upcoming 2 weeks to figure out what to do next, how to do it, what type of cleansing you may need, what type of working you may need, maybe a bath or something like that. Whatever you may need, whether it be energetic work, again, angel number 4433, because we talked about the clearing of the energy, or if it may need to be something that you need to address, meaning something in terms of healing. Some of you guys, it could be a life coach. Some of you guys, it could be a spiritual teacher that is into energy work, that it could be a medicine woman that can assist you with something here, okay? Let's see what else we get here. Now we're going to shift gears into developing spiritual gifts, how your intuition and abilities are evolving. Okay, we're going to see how that is moving and grooving for y'all. So let's get a pre-shuffle going. We had a glimpse of the 9 of Wands. All right, we're going to do 4. Bottom of the deck, the Emperor energy. So when it comes to developing spiritual gifts, I feel like this is like you setting out to do something and actually doing it, planning something and going through with it. When it comes to your gifts, we have the 9 of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Death card, and the 5 of Cups. All right. I will say for you guys, from what I'm seeing here, there's going to be a lot of changes in regards to your spiritual gifts. All right. The 9 of Wands kind of lets me know this is the position that you're in right now in the next upcoming 2 weeks. You are persistent. You want to continue to develop your spiritual gifts. But the 9 of Wands is kind of like you are being surprised by another gift that starts to develop. All right. Surprised by the fact that, oh man, maybe I do need a little bit more spiritual protection, or I need to keep up more with spiritual cleansing or banishing or transmuting energy, right? I need to fix whatever boundaries so that way I can continue to have healthy relationships. Okay. Some of you guys are gearing up for the last stand meaning the last conversation that you need to have with someone before you remove them completely from your life and your energy. The last stand can also be lighting that last candle because someone got on your final nerve and you need some sort of justice. So you may be dishing out some sort of karma, utilizing the spiritual, like one of your spiritual team members to figure out a situation for you. Okay. I am seeing like there will be a test of faith in the next 2 weeks. When we talk about test of faith, this could be anywhere between your hope starts to like wither away a little bit. You're having issues with your faith. You're having issues believing that, the Most High got your back, or that, the angels actually did come through and handle a situation. It's almost like a ticking time, right? So I'm seeing like the clock is running very low and it's like, woof, close one, right? It's that type of energy. So you're in the 9 of Wands. Expect things to be unexpected, okay? Whenever I give you the heads up, like, yo, there's some unexpected things that are going to happen. You're going to feel like things are not going in your favor. That just means that it is a test. All right. Make sure that you do not become defensive, because again, that is a shadow attribute, and becoming defensive may mean that you may say things that you're not supposed to say. You may do things that you're not supposed to do, and that can affect you karmically. Okay. I do see that you're going to be in the energy of resilience, but please be careful with your pessimism in the next 2 weeks. Okay. Again, that negative self-talk, you're co-creating something real nasty to come towards you, and I don't want you guys to experience that. Okay. So shifting those thoughts, shifting what you can do, right? Do what you can do, and whatever else, give it to the Most High, give it to your spiritual team, right? Talk to them, talk it out, say, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to stop worrying about it. I'm going to do this instead, and tell them what you're going to do and navigate in that way. All right. Shifting to the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups talks about you guys are going to have like ideas. These ideas could be very creative. These ideas could be spiritual downloads. Okay. So not only are you going to see omens and synchronicities of different things that is coming out in this reading as confirmations for you in the next upcoming 2 weeks, but you will also be receiving spiritual downloads. Spiritual downloads are kind of like instructions, okay? Instructions on what you have to do next, instructions on what a spiritual team member, meaning someone from your spiritual court, wants you to do versus what your ancestors want you to do, your bloodline, versus what the angels are assisting you with. So the angels will encourage you to do something. Your ancestors will tell you to do something. Your spiritual team will advise you. Basically, if you do this, this will happen. If you don't do this, then this is going to happen. You have free will regardless. Okay? That's what puts you in those karmic cycles. That's what puts you in a situation where you compromise or you restrict your blessings or your success or that particular goal to be accomplished, right? So the Knight of Cups energy is like, okay, so you could be in la la land and act like you don't know what's going on when we give you the heads up, and you're going to keep messing up and doing whatever you're going to do. Or with the Nine of Wands, you want to strap up your boots and finally do what you need to do and get it done before it becomes overwhelming. Okay. That shining armor energy is giving that energy of like, there will be someone that can help you. There is going to be this energy of like, someone is going to be compassionate towards you. For some of you, someone could be kind. They'll do a kind gesture. They'll say something nice, right? The Knight of Cups sometimes comes out as, someone will probably be a little flirtatious with you, or, they're being a little emotionally vulnerable with you, right? You could have like a romantic type of energy around you. Someone could be charming, right? Someone could be very attractive. I'm seeing beauty, okay? Make sure that you're following your heart and not your fears. Your fears is your shadow. That's the trigger, right? When you start acting out of anger and being pissed, or again, going back to that hurt energy, you just reacting because something hurts versus thinking, okay, I'm doing things out of light and love. I'm doing things the right way. I'm doing things to protect myself, or I'm doing things to make sure that things fall in the places in the order that's supposed to, right? That's going to shift things for you. But make sure, again, with protection, you have that energetic armor, okay? The Death card talks about something changing in regards to a toxic relationship. If you guys have been experiencing a toxic relationship, I don't care if it's with your mother, I don't care if it's with the neighbor, I don't care if it's with the person at work, I don't care if it's with your ex, whoever you have a toxic relationship with. Some of you guys is family, some of you guys is siblings, some of you guys is what I like to call PTSD friendship. So that's like, oh, we've been friends for so long, so I'm gonna keep going hard with this person because you base the healthiness of the relationship based off of the length of the relationship, because you feel comfortable with that said relationship and you're not ready to release that relationship, so that way you can experience another relationship, whatever that may be. Somebody feels called out. I love you, boo. All right. There is a change is coming because of an unhealthy relationship in your life in the next 2 weeks. All right. This is going to unlock a major phase. All right. But it's going to put an ending to the situation. All right. That means that there is going to be an open door after that. After that relationship ends, because it was unhealthy, because it was toxic, because it was stunting your growth, because it wasn't allowing you to change the way you're supposed to change, because it was not validating your transformation spiritually, because it was not allowing you to continue your spiritual metamorphosis. This is the end of the cycle that I'm talking about in the next 2 weeks. All right. There's going to be an ending there. And that's when you're going to start your new beginning. Of course, with the Five of Cups, that just lets us know, like, you're going to be upset. You're going to be sad. Like, it's going to impact you. Like, you're going to feel like, man, I wish that didn't happen. Man, if only I did this, man, if only they could have just did that, right? Whatever that is in the next upcoming 2 weeks, you just have to take it to the chin. You have to accept it because it's bringing in something new. All right. It's birthing something new into your reality. Right. But you guys have to make sure that you stay in your power. You stay in control. Stay in control of your emotions. Stay in control of your actions. And make sure that you don't let your shadow self win in the next 2 weeks. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing in regards to the spiritual gifts that are developing for you. It's going to be hard for you to get these spiritual downloads, experiencing these changes while maintaining control. Okay. It's going to feel like you're in a roller coaster ride and you're trying to hold on for dear life. But maybe perhaps the things that you've been holding on for dear life has been trying to leave your life for the longest, and you need to let it go in order for you to continue your spiritual development in your gifts. Okay. Moving forward into breakthroughs that are in motion for you guys. Okay. Let's get the Tattoo Tarot with this one. Let's see what these breakthroughs are. And we'll shift gears. All right. Let's do it one more time. Oh, no, I see it. 12. Okay. Lots of breakthroughs. Okay. 2 of Wands. The Moon. The Hermit. The 3 of Coins. The Queen of Coins. The 10 of Cups. Oh, that's good. The Hangman. The 5 of Swords. What else? The 8 of Swords. The 3 of Cups. The Queen of Wands. The Ace of Cups. And the bottom of the deck is the 8 of Coins. Okay. So this is what I will say. Breakthroughs. When we talk about breakthroughs, we're talking about the shadows that you're facing. We're talking about the lessons that you're integrating and learning. We're talking about, let's say, like the tools that, are helping you to move towards, okay, whatever goal you have. I will say with the 2 of Wands, right now, you are shifting from the contract with this karmic cycle to a new contract. This contract is hidden with the Moon. All right. So you're not supposed to know too much of the contract or the spiritual path that you're about to head into. So I can't say too much about that. But I will say it is a spiritual path. It is a spiritual lesson that you're about to have with the, what is that? The 3 of Coins. This talks about a spiritual path or a spiritual mission that you are about to embark on that can affect who you're working with, who you're collaborating with. So there's going to be a switch in scenario, meaning your environment, and the people that you're going to be interacting with, meaning your community, your organizations, your companies, any type of networking, okay, that's going to shift, that's going to change, but it's going to build your spiritual community, okay? So there's going to be a shift here, something that could happen, let's say with the moon cycle. If we're talking about the moon cycle, then perhaps by the next full moon, there's going to be certain things that take shape in regards to your relationships, in regards to your contracts. Contracts can be spiritual. Contracts can also be physical in your mundane reality. Okay, so I'm seeing this is going to shift for you guys. With the Queen of Coins and the 10 of Cups with the Hangman, there's certain things that are going to occur in order for you to have an aha moment or a new perspective spiritually in regards to your emotional fulfillment, in regards to your stability, in regards to you being practical. What does it look like you being practical on a spiritual context? What does it look like you being practical with your finances? What does it look like you being practical in regards to your well-being? You're switching the perspective of what is healthy, what is emotional stability, what is emotional happiness, what is spiritual zen, right? Five of Swords talks about there will be some conflict, okay? But that's what you're breaking through. So I feel like the lesson here is how to navigate through conflict, how to navigate through situations, obstacles, things that you could have experienced with people. Like, let's say, how to deal with people that are petty, how to deal with people that hold on to grudges, how to deal with people that don't want to let go of the past. All right. And that's a confirmation. All right. How to deal with people like when they call you, right? How to deal with the people that call you when they only need you. How to deal with the people that then blame you because you don't want to show up for them, but they have never showed up for you the same way, right? Because the Five of Swords is like a conflict of interest, right? Another confirmation. So there could be a conflict of interest in regards to the people that you were engaging with, talking to, maybe beliefs, conflict of interest in regards to your spiritual beliefs or just your opinions, all right, and how to deal with those particular people. You're breaking through that. You're breaking through the mold, all right. You're choosing your well-being. You're choosing your stability. Choosing you, okay, your happiness. The Eight of Swords talks again about the negative self-talk, but it talks about a self-imprisoning situation. You're breaking through whatever limitations you placed on yourself, whatever projections other people could have been sending to you, whether that been energetically, verbally, psychologically, or again through spell work. All right, some sort of manipulation that could have made you felt binded, bound, tied, restricted, limited, just basically like beat down and trapped. Okay, especially in regards to your friendships, your inner circles, things that, were supposed to make you happy but didn't make you happy. The Queen of Wands lets us know that you're going to be in your power again. You're going to regain your confidence again. You're going to feel happy again in regards to the people that you have around you. The Ace of Cups is a symbol of a new relationship. We talked about a relationship ending. That's the unhealthy relationship, the toxic relationship. After that is being removed, okay, you will have new feelings to experience. Talked about how you're going to end up praying or talking to your spiritual team or going to the altar or whatever you guys do, however you do it. You're going to go ahead and you're going to address that with your spiritual court, the Most High, your ancestors. They're going to take that from you and prepare you for a new relationship, a healthy relationship. You're going to experience new feelings. Those new feelings are going to be like a work in progress, right? Because you're still working on the healing. You're still working on adjusting yourself to this new mindset, to this new belief system, to this new perspective on what you need to do moving forward. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap up with your final crow guidance messages. Okay. And you guys let me know if you guys want me to do another reading like this, specifically for the next 2 weeks or anything like that. If you guys like these readings, I can definitely do them on repeat based off of how many views and likes and comments that I get. And we can keep moving. All right. We have lust here in the reverse. Don't fall into lust, okay? Anything that gets you hot in the pants might not get you hot in the pants for a long time. Be wary of greed. Don't be greedy in the next 2 weeks. So don't try to overdo it with your plate. Don't try to overdo it with, and when I say your plate, I'm not just saying food. I'm also saying I can do that, I can do this, and I can do that other thing. Be careful with that in the next 2 weeks, okay? Do not force anything in the next 2 weeks. That whole by any means necessary standard needs to get thrown out the window in the next 2 weeks. Go with the flow. If it works, do it. If it doesn't work, then it won't work. So don't do it. Don't force it. You can break it. Okay. Whatever it is. Be more considerate to yourself and the people involved. Okay. Shattered was in the reverse. The trigger of yours is feeling like you failed, feeling like you did not achieve, feeling like you're wrong. Okay, that is a trigger. Okay, you are not broken. All right, there's many things that you can do. Do not feel like a failure. All right, there's just certain things that won't work, and it's for a reason in the next 2 weeks. Okay, then we have time in the reverse again. All right, something's going to happen in its own time. We have delay in the reverse, procrastination in the reverse, and too busy in the reverse. Nothing is delayed. You're not procrastinating, okay? Everything's going to arrive on time. It's not that you don't have enough time either. It's just there's certain things that need to happen in a chronological order. And I talked to you guys about that in a lot of different readings, right? About how something's going to happen for me, perhaps slower than for you, or for you, perhaps faster, or something's going to happen for me, let's say in a very random form, versus for you it's going to be very set in stone, concrete. This is going to happen, that's going to happen, and then after that this other thing happens, right? So do not focus on time. Time in the next 2 weeks is a fucking illusion. Don't worry about timing. Oh, this is supposed to happen this time, whatever. Still make sure that you do whatever you need to do, right? But don't, what do I want to say here? Do not base the actions or the things that you have to get done on time. Don't base it off of this has to get done on this day at this hour at this minute. Base it off of what is priority, what needs to get done, do it, and then keep moving. All right. Don't focus on time. Time is not going to help you. All right. We have consequences here. Again, paying attention to bad choices. Mixed signals, again, with the lying, the withholding information, someone being sneaky. There could be mixed signals in regards to communication in the next 2 weeks. Do not react out of your shadow. Make sure that if you feel unclear, or even if you feel triggered, just make sure, like, I just want to make sure that you're saying this, right? Or can you please explain what that means when you say this to me, right? Or can you explain why you did that thing when we were talking, or when I was there, or when you were in this room, right? Just asking to clear up a situation will help you versus reacting, okay? The whole games thing, I'm seeing, like, make sure that you're not going back and forth with whatever game somebody else wants to play. All right. We have harmony in the reverse, so that lets things will be out of balance in the next 2 weeks. So it's all about shifting it back into balance. Your peace could be disturbed, so again, focusing on your meditations and your mantras to get you back and anchored. Your happiness could be disturbed, okay, in the next 2 weeks. So finding your happy place again. All right. Don't let these things, affect you. Waves in the reverse, emotions, worry, fear. I don't feel like you're going to be worried. I don't feel like you're going to be fearful, but I do feel like your emotions are going to be all over the place. Okay. So paying attention to your moon sign, paying attention to the moon that is in transit, and what zodiac sign is in transit. How does that particularly affect you? Does that affect your emotional well-being, or does that affect your emotional reactions, right? Figuring out what to do there and implement it, so that way you can be emotionally anchored, right? Have emotional stability. And then we have boundaries here. Yeah, they're not playing. Boundaries. Somebody could be a little disrespectful. Again, the karmic woman situation, okay? It's enough. It's time for you to speak up for yourself. Don't withhold, don't shut down. The next 2 weeks, this is not the time for you to shut down. This is not the time for you to be like, oh, well, I'll just tell them later, or I'm just gonna wait to send that text message, or I'm just gonna wait to like let them know that I don't like that. No, you need to defend yourself. You need to say whatever you need to say, but just make sure that you're not saying it in a shadow self reactive form. Say it in a way that you're getting the thought across. You're communicating clearly. Yeah, somebody need to work on their throat chakra. You're communicating clearly in a respectful way, right? But you're also clearing up the air. Like, well, maybe you know this person is also going through it and they're just reacting emotionally. So let me give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, that was a little disrespectful, but I just want to make sure that this is what you meant. Like, I'm going to give you the airspace to explain to me if that was disrespectful, like if you intended it to be that way. So basically, like, you're giving somebody the chance to correct themselves. If they still with that energy, draw the line. So I just wanted to know that you were just being petty and you were being, oh yeah, you are being petty, you're being disrespectful. That's the last time you're going to do it. Period. Okay? That's how that works. Any other final messages that they need to know about? All right. We have possibilities in the reverse. I just feel like some of you guys are not in the mood of chasing your dreams in the next 2 weeks. Either you can't make up your mind about something, or there's an issue here with believing in yourself. You can't trust yourself. You're having issues with believing in yourself. Your faith is being tested in the next 2 weeks. There's a lot of stuff going on. Please remain anchored. This is like next 2 weeks, major. Angel number 11133. Okay. Make sure that you are grounding. Make sure that you are not allowing other people's emotions, especially for my empaths, other people's emotions and vibrations, angel number 11144, okay, to impact your decisions, to impact how you're going to move moving forward. Angel number 11155, okay? Don't let them change, look at this, chaos. There's going to be like energy, like things are going to be falling apart. Things are going to look a little disastrous and stuff like that around this time. But again, we are pushing out, we're pushing away the waning moon. This is the energy. We're pushing things out that is not serving us. So that means that a lot of people are going to be showing their butts in the next 2 weeks. All right. We have karmics in the reverse. I don't really feel like third parties are at play in the next 2 weeks. Some of you guys could be learning a new lesson just with similar energies, okay? There could be haters around you, because there definitely is a hater, but that person is, let's say, hidden, right? So they're hiding themselves, or they're hiding the fact that they're hating on you, or they're hiding the fact that they have like a dual energy, like intentions, right, for being around you. So be careful with that. We have hopelessness, all right? Some of you guys are getting out of depression in the next 2 weeks. For very few of you that have been experiencing, feeling very, very down in terms of how you feel about life, that is shifting in the next 2 weeks. All right. You're starting to get a little bit more hopeful as you keep your harmony. You don't keep your harmony, it's like almost like you shift back into depression, or you feel like a lack of life or something like that. Okay. You feel lost, but I feel like you're going to start finding yourself in the next 2 weeks. All right. We have longing here in the reverse. I don't really feel like you guys are missing anyone in the next 2 weeks. I don't feel like you want to talk to anyone, kind of giving antisocial vibes. You don't want to connect with anyone. You don't want to click and meet up with anybody, right? The person that you were like head over heels about, or super duper like, I want to know everything that you're doing, you don't even care about in the next 2 weeks. All right. I am seeing that. There is going to be a very big epiphany that you guys have in the next 2 weeks. but they're saying that there's still a lot of things that you haven't tapped into yet with your spiritual gifts, in terms of your reflection. So this is like your journaling, your healing, like addressing certain things, writing things out. There's going to be some questions that you still don't have the answers to in the next 2 weeks, but that is okay, is what they're saying. Don't start freaking out. Don't start panicking. That's what they're saying. All right. There's a lot of things shifting and changing, and that's perfectly fine. All right. It's almost like you feel the energy shifting and changing. You feel the emotions shifting and changing. You're getting signs and confirmations from your spiritual team that everything is changing and shifting, and this is the reason, and that's the reason, and this is where we're going to take away, and this is what we're going to give you. But you're not seeing any physical proof in the next 2 weeks, if you get what I'm saying. You're going to get all the omens and the synchronicities, but you're not going to see like the physical proof that it's happening. And I feel like that's probably what got you on edge. So do more meditations. Make sure that you really take care of your emotional health. Figure out how to not freak out so much about finances and just anchor yourselves, okay? That is all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.